Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having an awesome day. So this past weekend, Pink released her 8th studio album, Hurts to Be Human, and it really does. I'm really excited. I was never the biggest fan of Pink, but one can admit she has lots and lots of bops and iconic songs, and I listened to a couple of the tracks already as they were released throughout the weeks. It's a 13-track album, and the only songs I have heard so far are Hustle and Can We Pretend featuring Cash Cash and Walk Me Home. So sometimes I just cannot talk. Those are the 3 tracks I have heard so far, and like I said, there are 13 tracks, so let's get into it with track number 1, Hustle. Okay, so that was track number 1, Hustle. I remember when I heard it for the first time, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I don't feel like it's the strongest Pink single ever released. But I think it's still a fairly good track, and I think it's a good way to open the album. So now let's move on to track number 2, Hey Why, Miss You Sometime.
Sometimes almost lost my mind. So hey, why do I miss you sometimes? Big time like oh, I need your love. My clothes kinda low. We dominate these love nights. I've said goodbye. Almost lost my mind.
Okay, so that was track number 2, Hey Why, Miss You Sometime. So I will be honest, that song was a little boring. I feel like if she was to include this song on this record, as she did, I feel like she should have probably knocked it down a couple pegs. She probably could have put it more so at the bottom of the record. I just don't feel like this is worthy enough to be the second track on this record. It's just not strong enough. It's not catchy. It's kind of bland. That's why I say it should be more so near the bottom or maybe in the middle. It shouldn't be number 2 on the record. Honestly, it shouldn't even be on the record at all. And that might sound a little harsh. I really think this song is really boring. I wasn't really into it. And I didn't really like the auto-tune as well. So now let's move on to track number 3, Walk Me Home, which is the lead single off this record.
Takes me back to a better time when I saw everything is good. There is so much wrong going on outside. There's something in the way I wanna call.
Yay, we finally have a good song. Not to say the other 2 songs weren't good, but, finally Pink has woken up. I can see why this was the lead single. It's a good song. It has that, it has that Pink touch to it. We all know she has, like, those high energy lead singles typically, like So What or Raise Your Glass, the drums and, how she works. This was a really good song. I liked it. When I first heard it, I was like, yes, really, really good song. So it's my favorite track on the record so far. And by the way, if you want to know what my top 10 fave Pink songs are of all time, you can actually find me on Apple Music. You can find my account and you can see all my playlists, what I'm listening to right now. I have a whole bunch of my top 10 fave playlists. So I have my top 10 fave Pink songs, Taylor Swift, Britney Spears, Rihanna, Lady Gaga, Eminem, all that. And I'm still releasing more and more and more. So check me out if you want. So now let's move on to track number 4, My Attic.
My attic is full of pages, full of crazy cluttered spaces that you could not cross. I keep hiding the keys in all these places even I can't find. I will give you all my secrets. hands that numbers can't begin to calculate. I keep hiding the keys in all these places even I can't find. My head, my head.
Okay, so that was track number 4, My Attic. Kind of sounds like she's saying addict, like drug addict, in the song, but I think it's a good ballad. Lots of meaning behind it. It's kind of like alluding to, skeletons in one's closet, the attic, what have you. It's a good song. I feel like a lot of people can relate to it, and I felt like it was a good ballad. So now let's move on to track number 5, 90 Days, featuring Rabble. I've never heard of him before. I'm just assuming that's how you pronounce his name. Rabble, I think it's Rabble. Please don't crucify me.
We're driving in a black car and it's blacked out and we're spinning. We're listening to fast car and you're driving fast and you're singing. It's going on 18 months now and it's fucked up but I'm falling. I feel it every day now but I'm stalling. If I'm just somebody that you're gonna leave and you don't feel something when you look at me, you're holding my heart, what you say? I could clear my system in 90 days. You're holding my heart, what you say? Just let me down slowly. I close my eyes, I can't sleep. A hotel room in New York, and I feel the space that's in between. You make this shit so easy, and I told you my secrets, so I don't know why I'm tongue-tied at the wrong time, but I need this. We're driving in your fast car, yeah. We're driving in your fast car, yeah. You're holding my heart, would you say? Just let me out slowly, you'll be okay.
Yes, that is what I'm talking about. Track number 5, 90 Days. I loved this song. My favorite track on the record so far. Pink's voice and Rabble's voice go so well together. I haven't heard of this guy before. I don't know who he is, but now I have to dig into his music. I love his voice. Really good song. My favorite track on the record so far. So now let's move on to track number 6, Hurts to Be Human, featuring Khalid.
So tired of getting tied up in my phone.
Okay, so that was track number 6, Hurts to Be Human. I didn't really care for that song, sadly. I did like Khalid's part in it. That was the highlight for me. But I just didn't really care for this song. In the chorus in particular, I'm not a fan of songs where the artist is kind of repeating the same word over and over and over again in a chorus. Kind of like what Pink was doing. She was kind of repeating you, me. I think that's kind of lazy. And I honestly didn't really care for this song. But anyway, let's move on to track number 7, Can We Pretend, featuring Cash Cash, which I have heard, oh my god, which I have heard already, and I gotta say, I really like this song.
Laughing, I was crying, we were dancing, we were dying. Even my knees, what I liked were the things we didn't know. Just to tell you what I liked were the things we didn't know. Every morning, every night, just to tell you what I'm thinking, but you'd already know. Can we pretend?
Okay, so that was track number 7, Can We Pretend? And I don't need to tell you how much I love that song. I'm a dance music guy, I'm an EDM guy, I love dance-heavy songs, which this song is. It reminds me of the early to mid-2010s when a lot of pop artists were releasing EDM music, because that was the big thing. A lot of artists who didn't really release that sort of music was releasing it, and it was, EDM dance music bliss for me. That was the early 2010s to mid-2010s. And this kind of takes me back to that time. And I really enjoy this song. And I love Cash Cash. So now let's move on to track number 8, Courage.
The courage to change
Okay, so that was track number 8, Courage. And I was getting total Imagine Dragons vibes from this song. I really liked it. Really cool jab too. Really powerful song. Good message. Really liked it. For me, one of the standout tracks on the record. So now let's move on to track number 9, Happy.
Somebody find me a pill to make me unafraid of me. Seen every therapist, but I'm a cynical bitch. I take another hit, I find another fake fix. Maybe I'm just scared to be happy. I take another sip, I swear it's my last fix. Cause it's easier than healing. I wanna be this way forever. Keep telling myself that I'll get better. Maybe I'm just scared to be happy. I'm scared of being somebody new. But I wanna be this way forever. Keep telling myself that I'll get better. Maybe I'm just scared to be happy.
Okay, so it was track number 9, Happy. I thought it was a decent song. I thought it was fairly good. I don't think it's at the top of the album when it comes to best songs, but I don't think it's at the bottom. I think it's in the middle. I would definitely listen to it again. So now let's move on to track number 10, We Could Have It All.
There were no black cats in our band. And all your truths, you're shaking like honey. Always, always, you can get what you want, but not what you need. We could have it all. We could have it all. We could have it all.
Okay, so that was track number 10, Okay, so that was track number 10, We Could Have It All. I actually really enjoyed that song. I thought it was good. I thought it was pretty dope. I feel like it's a song Pink could have released way back when during her I don't know, maybe her I'm Not Dead era. It's definitely giving me classic Pink vibes. And even though I will say, even though I feel like this album isn't the strongest of her discography, I can appreciate the message and the story she's trying to tell in these songs. You only have to look at the song titles to know what she's trying to convey to the listener. We live in that age of, where everything's a mess right now, politically and in the world. And a lot of people just want to escape from that. And a lot of people are hurting, a lot of people are feeling alone, and a lot of people just want to escape reality. They just want to go back to the good old days. And I feel like with each year that goes by, it's just becoming so difficult for so many people. I feel like that's what, Pink is trying to convey in these songs. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get back to the music. Track number 11. Love Me Anyway, featuring Chris Stapleton, which I don't think I've ever heard a Chris Stapleton song before. I'm sure I have, but I never actively searched him up on Apple Music, which I might do after this first listen. So let's get into it. Beautiful song. Could even see I got a little teary-eyed listening to that. I think this is definitely a standout track on the record. And Chris Stapleton, I know he has a really good voice. And again, I'm gonna dig into his discography. I've never really listened to him before. But I'm definitely gonna do it after this first listen. Really emotional song. A little bit of a country twang to it. I will say, though I like this song, I feel like after listening to this song in particular, I feel like the genre of this album, I feel like everything's a bit of a mess. We have some EDM, we have some pop, we have some country rock. I feel like this album doesn't really know what it wants to be. I kind of feel like it's all over the place. But there are some, standout tracks, I will say. So now we have only 2 tracks left. Track number 12, Circle Game.
For all my hard talk, I'm still just a daddy's girl. And there's still monsters in my closet, and they wanna come and circle game. No one ever stopped to say in the circle game.
Okay, so that was the second last track on the record, Circle Game. It was a good ballad. I enjoyed listening to it. I've always enjoyed Pink's ballads. I've always felt like, regardless of the record, the ballads are always really good. This one is no exception. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. So now let's move on to the last track on the record, the last song of your life.
Where you rehearsed all the other parts. It is of no interest at all to me. Tell me what you dance for, how you've been a fool. It would be so good to see the real you again.
So that's the final track on the record, the last song of your life. Again, it's a good ballad from Pink. It's a good way to wrap up the album. I enjoyed it. So now I finished listening to the album, and I will say, like I said earlier, this isn't Pink's strongest album. It's okay. I feel like there are a lot of tracks that just aren't good. They aren't very memorable. There's some standout tracks. I definitely feel like the second half of the record is a lot better than the first half. And again, I feel like this album doesn't really know what it wants to be. There's different genres. There's like I said earlier, there's like EDM, there's like country rock, there's pop, there's some R&B. There's kind of like everything in here, and I don't really know what it wants to be. And I'm a little confused by it. But I will say that some of the standout tracks for me are. I will say Walk Me Home. I'll also say 90 Days. I really, really enjoy that song. Can We Pretend also, another standout track. I also liked Courage, We Could Have It All, Love Me Anyway, and I'll even throw in the last song of your life. So to me, those are the top tracks. Well, maybe not the top tracks, they're just my favorite tracks. Anyway, so if you listen to the album, tell me what you thought of it. What's your opinion? What did you like? What did you like? What are your favorite tracks? What are some other artists I should check out? There are some artists on here that I actually had never really heard of before, so I have to dig into their discography, and that's gonna be a lot of fun for me. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.